guys want to see how I achieved this makeup look right here, just keep watching. First, I used my P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 0. I applied that all over my lid. Then I just used my Morphe M166 brush to spread it all over my eyelid like so. Then went in with the Beauty Blender and dabbed it out and blended it in. When I was finished doing that, I dipped into my Artistry palette by Morphe and I mixed the colors Sexuality and Life together, which is just a hot pink and a red, and I placed that into my crease area. Now I just kept on placing it and building it up, and I didn't blend it out too far up. I just kind of kept it in that little area like so. When I was finished packing that color on, I got back into my Artistry palette using my Morphe M506 brush, and I dipped into the color Sexuality, which is just a hot pink color, and I kind of just blended it out on the edge of that red by itself. I only dipped into this color one time, and I just lightly blended out the edges, blending it up a little bit higher towards my eyebrow and smoking it out on the ends. And I just kept blending away, and you can just blend until you feel like it's blended enough or until you like the way it looks. When I was finished blending that color out, I got into my Morphe palette and I used the light pink color called Heart, mixed it with my James Charles light pink in the palette, and I used my Morphe M441 brush just to fluff out the corners with that light pink. Now I did dip back into that color a couple times just to smoke it out and make sure that it's really blended and it has a flawless smooth blend and it looks really fluffy on the ends like so. When I was finished blending that out, I decided to go back into my Morphe Artistry palette and blend the hot pink and red together and pack it back on the crease where I had blended previously, just to put that color back and make it pop again. Once I finished that, I did go back in with that hot pink that I had used in my Morphe palette and lightly, very lightly blend out those edges like so, just to bring some of that color that may have been blended away back. And then I also went in with my Morphe M441 brush and I kind of just smoked out the edges and blended the edges with the brush using no color, just blending the light pink and the hot pink back together to give it a flawless, easy gradient blend. Once I was finished with that, I decided to go ahead and start on my waterline area. So I just mixed in that hot pink and red again and just simply popped it right under my eye, and I made sure to connect it with the corner of the eyeshadow and blend it down lightly. Once I was finished with that, I basically repeated the same step, just with using the hot pink by itself, lightly blending it in with that reddish pinky color, then just blending it out lightly on the edges. And then once I finally was finished with that, I just went back in with those light pinks that I had used and really just smoked out the corner using a big fluffy brush to make sure the corners looked really light and fluffy. And I didn't particularly stick to a shape. I kind of just smoked it all the way out and blended it all the way out till I liked the way it looked, just like that. Once I was finished with that, I just went in with my makeup remover and a Q-tip and I cut my crease. I didn't cut it all the way over, I cut it only halfway because I wanted that red to still be there blended on the end. So I just go ahead and cut it out and I made my shape the way I liked it. And when I was finished carving out my crease, I just went in with my P. Louise base and I just filled it in using that base again and just blending it out with my flat brush. After I was finished with that, I just dipped into my James Charles palette and I got into that white shade in the corner and I packed it on my crease that I had just made to set it all together. Once I was finished with that, I just dipped into my Ofra highlight and I dipped into that lightest white shimmer shade and packed it on top of the white just to give it a little bit of shine. Once I was finished packing that on, then I just dipped back into my Morphe Artistry palette, dipping into that light pink, using my M506 brush and just blending that red into that white and giving it a nice gradient blend. Now that I had my eyeshadow all nice and blended the way I wanted it, that's when I began drawing my outline for my butterfly. So I just grabbed my NYX Epic Ink liner and I began drawing the outline. Now sorry if you can't see this part that well, it was really hard for me to record and look in the mirror at the same time, but basically all I'm doing is drawing my outline. And once I had my outline drawn, then I just went and drew the bottom outline as well. And I was looking in the mirror a lot because I was trying to make each side even. But basically, that's all you do at first. Just draw your outline, how you want your butterfly to be shaped. And then once you're happy with that shape, go back and start thickening those lines up, just like so. To make the butterfly look more real and just give it more dimension, just start thickening those lines up. Try and be very careful with this part though, because if you mess up, then you're going to have to start all over, and I would not want to do that. But just like so. And I kept comparing it to my other side because I wanted them to be as even as possible. So if you see me looking over a lot, that's why. But yeah, I just lightly began thickening those lines up until I felt like they were even with the other side and I was satisfied with the way they looked. And then once I was finished with that, I just began drawing those little lines. I don't really know what they're called, but the little lines in between the wings. Basically, that's all you do is just draw a line from one side of your wing to the other side and connect them like so. And just keep them going all the way up your wing, making them as thick, as short, and as long as you want them to be, like so. And then once I was finished and happy with the lines that I had drew at the top, I just simply drew another line down and connected it to my eyelid like that. You don't have to do that. I just wanted to do it because I like the way it looked, but it's not really necessary to do. And then once I was finished with that, I just went back over the top to make it thicker. And then I did add more lines at the top as well, just to give it an extra look. I don't know, just because I think it looks cool like that. But yeah, just like so. And then once I finished the top, I moved on to the bottom, and basically you're just going to repeat the same steps as the top. So just go around the edges and start making it thicker like so. And you can make it as thick as you want. You can leave it thin if you like how it looks. I mean, it's up to your preference how you like. But basically that's all I'm doing. Just going around and making the edges thicker and giving it more dimension like that. Then I drew this line across the top. It's really just about placing the lines and how you draw them that gives the butterfly effect a cool look, because you can literally just draw lines across your face whenever you have the shape in any way you want, and it'll look like a butterfly because you have the shape. But basically that's just what I did for the bottom. I decided just to draw 3 lines going up, and yeah, that's basically it for the bottom part as well. And for the final step, I just went in with my Morphe white eyeliner and I made my little dots. I started at the top and I just made my little dots all the way around the edge of the wing, and I did the same for the bottom. You don't really have to place them in any certain pattern. I just did mine randomly all over around the edge, and I just repeated the same for the bottom. And yeah, that was the last step for this look. Afterwards, I just did my face makeup, of course, and yeah, that was it. And this is the finished completed look right here. I had so much fun doing this look. Honestly, it turned out way better than what I did the first time. I really love the pink. I just think that the colors look amazing. And honestly, you guys, if you guys want to get a good black eyeliner that's cheap, this NYX Epic Ink eyeliner, this is the way to go. This is amazing. This is my first time using it and I absolutely loved it. It was so easy to apply and it went on so smooth and so thin, so that way building it up made it so much easier. But yeah, definitely check this out right here if you guys are looking for an eyeliner. But yes, this is the finished look right here. I just want to say thank you for everyone who's watching and who enjoyed this look. Thank you, and I see you guys next time.